Good afternoon and welcome to this edition of KTN Newsdesk. My name is Edith Kimani. We're glad you could make time to be with us this afternoon, where news is brought to you as it happens.
That's right. My name is Boni Tunya. It is the 13th day of the month of May 2014. And today, top of the story is the impeachment of Embu Governor Martin Wambora. Now, the beleaguered Embu Governor is making history as the first governor to be impeached twice. The Senate is currently approving Wambora's impeachment motion, removing the governor from office, citing gross violation of the Constitution.
Violation of the Public Procurement and Public Finance Management Act as well. Now, Wambora is accused of procuring maize seeds that did not germinate, obtaining a personal vehicle worth over 12 million shillings using public funds, and undertaking the facelift of Embu Stadium unilaterally without involving the requisite departments.
We now cross over live to the Senate House, where that particular debate is ongoing.
For this particular session, to exercise the right not to be heard, nor to be represented. So, under the circumstances, Order Senator Murkomen, I am not going to engage in some platitudes or acts of generosity. We are here to pursue the law. And so, if the notices had been given, and the chair himself communicated even in person when the attorney appeared before the committee. And all of us, these are live proceedings, everybody is following wherever they are. I don't think it is my business to do otherwise. So let's proceed. Let the division bell be rung.
Workers at the Easy Coach bus company terminus in Kisumu intercepted a drug haul destined for Nairobi before its owner could send it. Now, the drugs that comprised 500 rolls of marijuana were contained in a polythene bag and were sufficiently hidden to avoid detection. The owner of the consignment, who was attempting to book a ticket for the journey, fled the scene on noticing attendants were growing suspicious with him, and police did not apprehend.
The National Environmental Management Authority, NEMA, has today launched the national guidelines for strategic environmental assessment that aims to integrate environmental policies. Speaking during the launch, Cabinet Secretary to the Ministry of Environment, Water and Natural Resources, Professor Judy Wahungu, lauded the move, adding that strategic environmental assessment will evaluate the interlinkages with economic and social considerations towards sustainable development. She added that the government is reviewing the Environmental Management and Coordination Act of 1999 to align it with the various environmental acts that are being faced currently in order to achieve cohesive society that enjoys equitable social development in a clean and secure environment.
What the Dutch say, God created the world, the Dutch created Netherlands. So really, we have to learn from people who have gone through this. And you know, we say if you see a good idea, you steal with pride. I want to encourage private sector, because you are the people who we have to deal with, and the government also, that it is in our best interest that we mainstream strategic environmental assessment in our policies, plans and programs.
Article 69 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 articulates the need for public participation in environmental management. The SIA process provides an avenue for all the relevant stakeholders to be involved in the evaluation of the policies, plans and programs, and the integration of environmental considerations. The Government of Kenya, through the social pillar of Vision 2030, hopes to achieve a just and cohesive society enjoying equitable social development in a clean and secure environment.
Matters environment, let's go to Malili, and residents of Malili took to the streets accusing Lands Cabinet Secretary Charity Ngilu of using her position to create confusion between residents of Machakos and Makueni counties.
Now, the demonstrators who later assembled at Malili Trading Center just a few meters from the proposed Techno City questioned Ngilu's timing in stating that the Konza Techno City does not fall under Makueni.
The Lands Cabinet Secretary attracted the wrath of the Makueni leadership for declaring Konza Techno City land situated in Machakos County. However, the leaders who expressed concern about her utterance argued that transferring Konza to Machakos will have a negative impact to Makueni residents.
Kulikuwa na demarcation. I was the team leader. Na wakati timu ya ile commission ya Lingale walienda wakachukua one part of Mumando. They created a polling station called Lumbwa. Na kwa hivyo Lumbwa, Mbondoni, Kalanzoni, watu wote wanapiga kura Kilome. Na hiyo ni pali ilikuwa demarcated. Sasa hii mambo anataka mwanze kupigana ndio hii kitu isiendelee.
From Malili to Nyeri, where residents of tropical area, and that's near Chania River in Nyeri County, appear to be a worried lot. Now, the residents of the area are living in fear as the perimeter wall surrounding their houses is in dire need of repair as it is leaning precariously on one side. Now, the fears are rife that the neglected wall could collapse anytime, especially during the ongoing rains and damage adjacent houses and possibly causing a catastrophe. Residents claim to have informed property owners but are yet to respond.
Sasa wakati tunaona hizi cracks zinaanza kupenya penya, tunahofia watoto wanaweza angukiwa kila wakati, anytime. Na sana sana wakati huu kulikuwa msimu wa holiday, watoto wanakuwa wengi sana kwa sababu wanatoka hata kwa kijiji ile napakana na hii manyumba mnaona hapa karibu. So tunahofia hii kitu isipolipotiwa na hatua ichukuliwe, janga lolote linaweza tokea wakati wowote. Tumejaribu kuongea na wao through some organization like NEMA, na hata tumeripoti kwa watu ya council, lakini tunaona hakuna hatua inachukuliwa. Sasa
Now, they're among the most talented runners of all time, but their current lifestyle best exemplifies the sad riches to rags story that is now becoming common among certain former athletes.
KTN's Marcy Kandie now reports on the former star athletes who now lead destitute lifestyles. Take a look.
He walks almost unrecognizable. Deep in the heart of Elgeyo Marakwet, Kobil village, we meet former world junior 5,000-meter runner Anthony Kiprono.
I'm from Boshemel. I've been traveling to 32 countries worldwide, and I'm a coach also.
The load he carries today, he says, is one he wishes could be taken away from him.
Me, I ate 500 million. No, 500,000. I ate 500,000.
US dollars?
No, Kenya money. Then my wife spent all those money. After that, then how am I going to do back to rejuvenate all those things to be in a position? Then it was just a big problem.
He is a single man, having separated from his wife 10 years ago. The once glittery trophies, now rusty, used for other purposes. Pride being the last of it, a glorious past.
Then in 1993, I was in Spain. I traveled there with William Sique, with Paul Tergat. Then I was number 5 also. Then we...
Anthony Kiprono was nicknamed Puma, his then favorite sporting gear. At 41, pegged down by misfortunes, It is more difficult to do the once daily dose of exercise. Cross-country was his expertise. What's left of it seen now only either through the rusty medals or the worn-out newspaper cutouts.
I was drinking beer. In fact, even I have a race tomorrow. I drink.
The quiet Tuyoluk village in Uasin Gishu County is home to one outspoken star, gold medalist Samuel Kiprop Chepkok.
Everybody, I'm buying beers. I sometimes even stand until the crits beyond me.
He grants us an interview outside his mud-walled house, telling us his fame came early in life, with over 3.5 million at the height of his career.
I have a lot of regrets because if I invest well, I would have been still having something.
Chepkok admits he's addicted to alcohol, that which made him fade. His love for money and women saw him acquire the name Digger.
I was called a dick. You know, I normally love women and drinks.
The father of 7, like Anthony Kiprono, wants to go back to the tracks, this time round hopefully with lessons learned, and it is clear that a lot more training and exercise is needed, running with the likes of Paul Tergat and Gabriel Selassie. Then, Chepkok knows too well how he wasted this resource. Charles Kwambai has more than enough to show of his representation of Kenya at the World Cross Country Championships that won him lucrative races abroad, again wasted away. He hopes that his 13-year-old son will take over, but not necessarily follow his footsteps. Hopefully invest in the monetary rewards that comes with the talent, learn lessons from himself and others like 3,000 steeplechaser Raymond Yator. It is a sad state back in the villages when our stars that once shone so bright dim at the height of their careers. Whose responsibility is it? Is it the government's responsibility, or is it the responsibility of the society to keep our stars in check so that their stars continue glowing?
Following that.
Former renowned athlete Moses Tanui believes it's the responsibility of both the government and Athletics Kenya to keep its athletes on check. Having reached the top of his career, traveled the world, Moses, now retired, plays golf and does business. He trained Anthony Kiprono, saying that most of the athletes do not want to listen when they are at the peak. Many lack self-discipline.
And I want to tell also those athletes that they should also learn to ask their seniors, or to ask from Athletic Kenya.
The sad picture of the lifestyles that some Kenyan world-beating athletes now lead after they won millions from lucrative competitions, from grass to grace, then grace to grass. A lesson hopefully for the future and current crop of athletes in the country. Masi Kandiye, KTN, Kobil Village, Elgeyo Marakwet County.
I think what's also disturbing is that second chances don't come so frequently.
And obviously with age, it's going to be very difficult for them to bounce back. But lovely story from Masi Kandiye. Remember, you can catch it on our YouTube page, www.youtube.com/KTN Kenya. Let's move though to Saku constituency, where residents of that constituency in Marsabit County now want the Governor Ukur Yatani to leave office, accusing him of discrimination against the Borana community.
The residents who made their way to the county commissioner's office to present their petition said Yatani failed to appoint leaders from the community as county executives in the recent appointments.
Leaders from the community further accused the governor and his deputy of not honoring an agreement that was signed last year that was geared towards bringing an end to the tribal conflicts in Moyale and Garissa.
They further accused that they want the county governor of neglecting the plight of people living with HIV and AIDS and physical disabilities. While presenting their petition, the leaders said the governor should step down as a matter of urgency until an amiable solution is reached upon.
Sisi tumenyimwa pia tena haki yetu. Tuko na nafasi ya ward 3. Tukiongeza wale watatu itakuwa 6. Hakuna mtu amepatiwa barua mpaka saa hii. Kwa hivyo tunaonelea sisi tumenyimwa haki yetu kabisa, na tutaendelea kuteta kwa hali na mali sisi.
sisi watu wanaoishi na virusi vya ukimwi, kama tungekuwa chini ya national government, national government ilikuwa inatupatia chakula, ilikuwa inatuangalia kwa kila kitu, lakini serikali ya county ilipoanza tukakosekana kabisa.
Welcome back. This is KTN Newsdesk. If you're seated on this side, you know we're having an afternoon business chat. And today we want to talk about power and how critical is power. Joining me is James Mwangi from Critical Power. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
James, you are in an interesting line of business. When our power goes off, you check in.
Yes, that's
How
right.
does your business work?
We basically offer power backup solutions.
Right.
So that in case you don't have power or in case power goes off, we are there, we come in and we provide a solution that will keep you on and uninterrupted, so that to make sure that you continue with your work and to make sure that you don't stop until when maybe the power resumes.
So when you talk about power backup, what is this? Is it solar? What exactly is it?
We have maybe a number of solutions for power backup,
right,
starting from the main one, which is generator.
Okay.
But as you know, generator, the cost of running it is quite expensive.
Right, and the noise.
Yes, so yeah, and the noise as well.
Right.
So we've come up with other solutions to ensure that in case you don't need the generator, or you don't want to have the generator on, and you want to reduce your consumption of the fuel,
right,
you can either have an inverter, you can have a UPS,
right,
you can have other alternative sources of energy,
right,
whereby we have solar, we have biomass.
So the understanding is that solar is just one of the options, it's not the only option.
It is not the only option. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
James, earlier on Parliament, or rather Treasury, slapped a 16% VAT on your imports for people dealing in this line of business. How much of an effect has that been upon your business?
Oh, to start with, we are very happy with the move of the government, because this is generally going to reduce the cost of the solars in the country.
Right.
It will make it more affordable, and of course it will make especially the people in the up country who are not connected to the main grid, they'll now be able to access an alternative source of energy.
Right.
And
because they say on one hand that solar is affordable, but the initial cost are crippling for most people who would want to install it.
Yes, this has been the case in the past, but I think in the recent future, in the recent past, we've seen the cost of solar reducing, and I can maybe just confirm that the current price of solar is gone down to almost 50%.
These are cross-board. We're talking about people in the private sector playing in this field. Across board, 30% has gone down.
Yeah, 30% has gone down,
right,
and it's bound to go down now with the new VAT bill being passed. Yes.
Right. What was so hard in having this law put in place earlier on? What are some of the challenges that stood in the way of having such a bill? Because obviously it's making a lot of sense now.
All right. Some of the challenges, we saw some of the people maybe stop the projects because, of course, the cost increased. It was quite unaffordable for most of the people.
Right.
And of course, because with the solar panel, what happens is that the initial cost is what is high.
Right.
But later you find that you get free power.
Right.
And it's very good because we're in Kenya where we have solar throughout the year.
Right.
And even if you look at the European countries, they are now coming up and they are telling us Africans. And I think it's about time for us Africans to own up to this solution, right, and to power houses and businesses with solar.
James, finally, looking at the independent power producers and how they've been operating in this market, there's of course a lot of dominance coming from the government-run institutions. We're talking about KenGen and the likes. But what is the future for people like you in the East African market?
I think the future is, of course, to offer an alternative, because not everybody is connected to the grid, and even most people, the grid is not 100% reliable.
Right.
And that is something that might take time before we can get a very reliable grid.
Right.
So I think the future is for everybody to try. You don't have to start with a big project. You can start by maybe owning up a panel, and you can continue to upgrade until you can be able to power up the whole house, your business. And again, there are solutions now whereby you can be able to sell back the excess power to KPLC, to the main grid line.
Right. Yes. Other than VAT, what is this one thing that you, in your view, if the government could unlock this area of business?
I think one thing they should allow us to do is to allow those people who want to have solar plants to sell back to the grid, so that
so they should give those licenses.
Yeah, they should give those licenses. I think that is a big challenge we're having at the moment.
Right.
And most people are looking forward to when the government can allow them to sell back, and this will save the country. It will save a lot of. It will reduce the cost of power and, of course, cost of running a home and any business in the country.
That's right. James Mwangi from Critical Power, asante sana, and thank you for joining us on KTN Newsdesk. And good luck in your venture.
All right, thank you.
I've been speaking to James Mwangi, Critical Power, and telling us how critical backup power really is. Edith?
Now time to wind up this edition of KTN
I did tennis pretty well.
I mean, you tried.
Okay. Okay.
Do you want a pat on the back for that?
Trying is good.
A pat on the back.
Trying is good. Thank you very much. I should be a sports anchor in the next life.
All right. Did you know? Oh my gosh, I have so many good ones. Did you know, for example?
Just before that.
I was really getting in the zone.
You're in the zone, I know. But Caleb Chauro responding to our Twitter handle and is responding to the story fallen athletes, and Chauro says, my people perish due to the lack of knowledge. What a shame to see talents being a waste. And Caleb, you can watch that story yet again on our website, that is standardmedia.co.ke.
All right. Did you know Martin Luther King, although he died at the age of 31 after a post-mortem, it was revealed that he had the heart of a 60-year-old, and doctors say this is probably because of stress.
Small wonder.
Did you also know?
He's trying to save the world.
Christian Bale, the guy who plays Batman, love him. When he's playing an American role, he does press interviews in an American accent because he doesn't want to confuse his audience. And finally, this one is the best. Did you know you can instantly cool down your car when it's been sitting under the sun for too long? What you do is you roll down the window on one side, and on the other side you open the door 5 or 6 times, closing it, and your car will instantly be cool.
That is so pointless. But back to that interview bit. I think our Kenyan athletes do that also. When they win, they do interviews with a Kenyan accent.
Not to confuse their enemies?
Yeah, exactly.
My name is Edith Kimani. I cannot deal with Bonnie Tunya this afternoon. Thank you for watching. Hopefully we'll see you again tomorrow, same time, same place.
Right, and my name is Bonnie Tunya. Good afternoon. I will see you again for business.